ready for the amount of 6-star books that are coming out in summer 2026. These are my top 12 most anticipated, almost guaranteed, and you can come back and yell at me if I'm wrong, 6-star book releases that are coming out between now and September 2026. Welcome back to my channel where I give you all of the book recs, all of the unpopular opinions, and all of your need to knows for your TBR coming up, which means we have to know what is coming up between July and September 2026 that is absolutely mandatory for your TBR. I have right here the best of the best, the books that I am most excited about. There is a good chance that I forgot one, so if I did, let me know. But there are 12 books right here that I would be willing to bet money are going to be 5-star reads, or at least are going to be 4.5. So get your TBR out, get your Goodreads out, get whatever you need, pen and paper, and put these on your immediate summer TBR. I don't know about you guys, but summer, even though I've been reading some of the best books I've ever read, summer has been like, or June, beginning of summer, has been one of the most like mentally draining, mentally stressful, difficult times. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it has anything to do with them shutting down CERN. I don't know if it's just something in the air. Somebody said Mercury in retrograde. Why does it feel like Mercury goes in retrograde like every month? Is that a thing that happens every month? Like, how cyclical is Mercury going into retrograde? Because every time I say I feel bad, everybody's like, Mercury's in retrograde. I'm like, wasn't it just? Is it ever not going to be in retrograde? Can we come out of retrograde? Like, can we have some chill time? When is the next chill time? Well, 6-star reads are going to make everybody's mental health better. I can at least give you some good reads. If you are struggling like me, feel free. Tell me in the comments. I feel like we can trauma bond. I've been super mentally overwhelmed. I've been having a lot of imposter syndrome. I left my full-time job to work minimally part-time, but to mostly focus on myself and my book things full-time. And literally the day that happened, the day that I like had my last full-time day, I had this weird like breakdown of like, I am thinking too highly of myself. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not a real content creator. I'm just telling you how it felt. That's how it felt. I feel like an imposter. I feel like I shouldn't be here. I feel like I'm not very interesting. I don't know. That's how I feel. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for compliments. I'm just genuinely telling you how it felt when I quit my job, because that's quite a terrifying thing to do. So that's how we were feeling. That's where we are. But nothing fixes imposter syndrome and mental health declines like new 6-star books. So we're going to go over the top 12 books that are releasing from the beginning of July. Some of these came out and I need to make sure they're on your TBR recently, and we're going all the way to mid-September. So you are set until the very beginning of spooky season, which then I will come back and give you your spooky season TBR, because let me tell you, the books coming out in fall 2026, we get Vasmora in fall 2026. Let me just go ahead and give you a spoiler there. But we're going to go over all these 12 books, and let me know if I left any off, but mandatory. Your official TBR for the summer. And Summerween. So for my vampire girlies, we haven't gotten anything that's like vampire coded lately that's been an actual good time. Kingdom of Dark Magic book 2 came out at the very end of June, and this was one of the funnest things that I read in 2025. So imagine Draco Malfoy, but imagine him as a vampire. The MMC in here was giving me absolute life. The plot twist at the end of this book was diabolical, and book 2 just dropped, and I'm literally so excited for it. So if you are a vampire girly, you like plot twists, you like a little bit of emotional damage, and you don't want to be able to guess what's going to happen in your romantasy plots, this one felt very different, very fresh. It is going to be spicy. And of course we have a vampire and a bargain, two of my favorite things. I feel like the bargain books have been like very limited lately, so I am down for, especially like not having a fae bargain. A bargain with a vampire is a completely different vibe. So this book was an absolutely good time. The second book is out now, so I'm gonna need you to put that on your immediate TBR. It is on my July reading list, so I will be starting it probably in the next couple of days. I'll be back with a review, but vampire girlies, this needs to be on your Summerween TBR. In the Wake of the Ruin by Kalie Cassidy. This is the second book in a duology, so this is now complete. The first book was In the Veins of the Drowning. It was honestly one of my favorite things that I read last year. It is sirens and deep sea. People are calling it like a mermaid book. It's not necessarily mermaids, but like our FMC is a siren. She is not a green flag. She is an actual like morally gray FMC, and I feel like a morally gray FMC honestly might be more preferable to me than a morally gray MMC, because it just makes them so much more interesting. This is the end of a duet. In the Wake of the Ruined completes this duet. I have literally heard nothing but rave reviews for this book. The tension, the yearning. I am terrified because I just saw a book review for this with someone saying that Theo was giving Dorian Aveyard, and Dorian is my #1 like favorite romantasy book boyfriend. So if the man in this book is giving Dorian, you know it's going to be a 5-star read. This came out on July 7th. It is one of Book Talk's biggest, hottest books right now. Everybody's raving about it. It's getting very good first reviews. I feel like a lot of second books recently have been very hit or miss. This one seems to be definitely a hit. If you like gothic, siren, morally villainous FMC, and an absolute like crawl to her immaculate book boyfriend, this is going to be the book that you need on your immediate TBR. It just released and it is the last book in the series, so you do not want spoilers. Read it immediately. So one of the most talked about books on Book Talk literally this year is A Web of Vows and Vengeance by Aria Ashbrook, and they are feeding us because we got book 2 on July 7th. It just came out and this needs to be at the top of your TBR. I did happen to get an art copy for this. I am absolutely eating it up. If you liked books like Starside, if you liked Fourth Wing, A Web of Vows and Vengeance #1 is going to give you all of those vibes, but I feel like there's better found family and the trials are actually really impressive. Now book 2, listen, we've got tension, we've got angst, we have betrayal, we dive a little bit deeper into the plot and the fantasy element while the romance still takes like a huge part of this book. This is spicier than book 1. We've got really good found family. The emotional damage that was present at the end of book 1 wrecked me, and I don't expect the end of this book to be any more forgiving, so I can't wait to cry at the end of this book. But this is absolutely like one of the best vibes I've had all summer. This book did take me out of a reading slump, so I am expecting the second book to be even better. I feel like second books have really been hitting this year for the most part, and this one should not be slept on, and it's also one that you don't want spoilers for. One of the most criminally underrated romantasy books of 2025 was Forbidden Alchemy. We have A Forsaken Prophecy comes out in like days at this point. This was one of the best like 5-star plot romantasy books that I read last year. I feel like this one is so slept on, and it, #1, this needs to be on your TBR. But A Forsaken Prophecy is also supposed to be immaculate. I've seen really good reviews for it. The cover is absolutely stunning. And this plot honestly was just diabolical. I feel like this is another plot where you are going to get whiplash. You're not going to see anything coming. You're going to get emotionally damaged. You're going to have plot twists, like rip you out of your comfort zone. This one, I also just love an alchemical setting. I love alchemy. I love that area of magic. I feel like it's very interesting, and not a lot of books deal with alchemy, not a lot of like current popular books. So this is honestly a very refreshing world, magic system, plot. I ate this up. I don't know why nobody's talking about it, but A Forsaken Prophecy is a huge deal and it needs to be on the immediate TBR. So one of my favorite authors is coming out with a new series, and it is coming out super soon. It's coming out on July 22nd. It is Sophia St. Germain. It's called Who Hears the Waters Call, and this one, listen, this is different than any other book that's going to be on this list. This is Viking romantasy. We've got Norse mythology, we've got Vikings, as you can see by the cover of this book. Sophia St. Germain wrote the Compelling Fate saga, which is one of my favorite romantasy series. I feel like she knows how to do a romance, how to do a slow burn, and also a really immaculate found family and plot twist. And I just find her romantasy writing style to not be copy-paste, predictable, super like everything else. And listen, if you read the first book of the Compelling Fate saga, you thought it was predictable, didn't you? And then it wasn't, okay, you guys? One of the best plot twists I've ever read was at the end of that book, so I can't wait to start this one. #1, it's beautiful. I have not read a Viking romantasy in a minute, so I am so ready for this change up. I'm ready to be in a different vibe. Hopefully it's going to be like winter vibes, because it's like the hottest I think it's ever been this summer, so maybe this will cool me off a little bit, make me feel like it's not the middle of summer. And if you have not heard of this, I feel like this is a release that is incredibly slept on. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, and this is possibly going to be better than like the most popular book releases that are coming out this summer, so I would not sleep on putting this on your TBR, and I'm judging you if you don't add it right now. Okay, so speaking of Dorian Aveyard book boyfriends and tension, yearning, plot, emotion, the second and final book in this duology comes out on August 4th, 2026. A Dance of Lies was the first book. The next book is going to complete the duology, and when I tell you this has yearning, plot, tension, and feel like I was really, really invested in the story of the FMC. We have a dancer. This explores chronic illness. It has a book boyfriend that is honestly one of my favorites that I read last year. This man is giving Dorian Aveyard. When I tell you, like, it is rare to find a book boyfriend that gives him. I've heard we're gonna get him in The Wake of the Ruined, but I can already tell you we get that man in the Dance of Lies series. So this is gonna be a completed duet. It's finished. If you're looking for a completed series, you don't want to pick up something new. This is only 2 books, and the next book comes out in a matter of weeks, so this needs to be on the TBR. If it wasn't a priority before, it's now a completed series. You guys, the way I have been waiting on this book to come out, speaking of completed series, I've been waiting on this for over a year at this point. The final book in the Bewitched trilogy comes out on August 18th. You guys, Bewitched is one of my favorite, like, romantasy books. Memnon is one of my top favorite book boyfriends. This is going to be a completed trilogy. It's going to be finished, no more books. Technically, it's 4 total because it has a novella, but this, listen, if you want something that's going to make you laugh, if you want fast-paced, super easy to understand plot, if you want emotional damage, a magic system that is immaculate, this is dark academia with witches. We've also got werewolves. We've got an ancient Samaritan sort of hot mummy vibe. And listen, our FMC is a witch who, in order to use her powers, has to give up one of her memories. So every time she uses her powers, she gives up a memory, she writes it in a diary. Our red flag book boyfriend comes along and burns all of her diaries with her memories in them. And we said, yes, give me 14 more of them. We love men like that. So you guys, if you have not met this man, also, I know it sounds weird, and the beginning of this book is actually kind of crazy. It's going to be like fast-paced, and you're going to be like, what the heck is going on? Give this one a second to cook, because this is one of the best, like, well-developed character journeys, plot journeys. You're going to eat it up. I read both books in like 2 days, and I've been waiting ever since for the final book in the series, which is this one. So this is one of the ones that is a big one. Big one for me. This is probably one of the like top 5 books of 2026 that I've been super excited about the release for, and it's finally here. I thought we were never gonna get it. It's gonna be completed, and I feel like there's no way it's not gonna be a 6-star read. Something super, super, super exciting is coming out on August 18th, which is Sinister by Veronica Lancet. Now listen, Veronica Lancet wrote Fairy Tale, which is either a highly loved or highly hated crazy romantasy book. It is extra spicy. It is super dark and deep and twisted and absolutely unhinged. So if you're tired of like the sort of fluffy feeling, happy, like good vibes romantasies, and you want something dark and twisted, that is what Sinister is going to be. It is not related to Fairy Tale. It's going to be a brand new series. It is dark academia, and this one is supposed to be like dark and twisty and like also absolutely unhinged, but in a different setting. We've got an academy instead of sort of like a small town, which is what we had in Fairy Tale. Now listen, having read Fairy Tale, I know Veronica Lancet is unhinged, okay? Fairy Tale was absolutely a fever dream that I equal parts rage read and then rated 5 stars. So Fairy Tale was absolutely crazy. If you're looking for something to completely like take you out of your comfort zone and not feel like anything else you've read, it has to be Sinister. When I heard Dark Academia, I said move that to the tip top of my TBR. So this one comes out on August 18th as well. Dark Academia, spooky vibes. The early reviews are saying that it is completely unhinged and twisty-turny, like completely unguessable plot-wise. So I personally can't wait. It better be a 5-star read, and it needs to be on the TBR. So another one I feel like we've been waiting on forever, and the first book was a 5-star masterpiece. We had The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, who is one of my favorite gothic fantasy writers. She wrote One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. The Knave and the Moon, which is the second book in this series, comes out on September 1st. So I am not sure whether this is going to be a duology. I think it is. I think it's a duology, which means it will also be completed once that book comes out on September 1st. The Night and the Moth was a 5-star masterpiece. I think I liked it even better than One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. And this is a truly beloved on Book Talk. Like, everybody loves this book. Book Talk likes this book. Regular readers like this book. If you like fantasy, if you like gothic, we also have sort of a side character like talking gargoyle in here. I love a sort of like animated magical creature in the side of a book. This is emotional, it's lush, it's deep, it's spooky in all the right ways. It's perfect for Summerween, and it's coming out like right before spooky season, so it's like gonna really ease you into the extra spooky dark things that we're gonna read when we get to October. But it's finally coming out September 1st, The Knave and the Moon. Everybody has been like holding their breath for this one, so I cannot wait to see if it lives up to the hype. There's a lot of big things happening this year, but one of the biggest is that Victoria Aveyard is writing her first adult spicy romantasy. You don't know who Victoria Aveyard is. She is the one who wrote the dystopian series Red Queen, which is one of the like big star dystopian series. So if you're looking for something dystopian to read, it is a YA series, but it's a completed series, and it will critically emotionally damage you, which is why I rated it 6 stars. So she is coming out with her first adult spicy romantasy called The Tempest. It's going to be pirate vibes. It's going to be on the ocean, and I have been seeing her like work on it over the past, I feel like it's been 2 years at this point. She has really taken her time, which I feel like has become very important to me with romantasy lately. I feel like when you take your time to write something well and do it well and flesh out your story and all of that, I just have generally been liking books that have been taking longer to come out. This one has taken a while. I am very excited. Victoria Aveyard is one of my favorite YA authors, so the fact that she's now stepping into adult romantasy, I cannot wait. The Tempest is a big deal. The Tempest is like an adult romantasy debut for this author, and we all already know we love the author. She's also hilarious in general, so this one's a big deal. I am expecting big things from this book. I'm expecting to feel a lot. I'm expecting to eat it up. So put The Tempest on your September TBR. Now, this book has been described as ultimate enemies to lovers. And if you know me, I don't like baby fake enemies to lovers where everybody says they're enemies, they're political enemies, their parents didn't like each other. None of that counts. None of that counts. That's not real. Fake enemies to lovers. The Emperor's Enemy, funny that it's got the word enemy in the title, is book 1 in a duet by Jasmine Moss that is coming out September 15th. This one, you guys, I already like Jasmine Moss. She wrote the Psycho Shifter series. She wrote the Bonds of Hercules series. There's some other stuff that she wrote, Shifter Academy. I feel like she's really started elevating herself in her new series, and The Emperor's Enemy is honestly one of the books that I'm most excited about. Number 1, because it's not going to be a big long series. It's going to be 2 books, and that's it. And I think they might be interconnected standalones. Unsure about that, but I've been seeing the word standalone float around when people are talking about it. And this one is supposed to be enemies to lovers, okay? And if it does not live up to that hype, you better believe I'm going to come back and tell you. But when I hear it's real enemies to lovers, it's also going to the top of my TBR. So that needs to be on yours. If you like Jasmine Moss, she is the perfect mixture of comedic writing, but also serving you a big side of emotional damage, but also delivering plot twists that quite literally will unhinge your jaw. The plot twist at the end of the first Psycho Shifter books haunts me to this day. It was so good, but I can't wait to see what's in this one, and I think it's gonna be 5 stars, you guys, so, you know, put it on the TBR. You guys, one of my favorite spicy dark academia books, the second book comes out September 29th. Half City is up there with one of my like top 10 favorite books that I've read this year. The second book is coming out, and when I tell you, I've never in my life been more excited for a second book because the end of this book was diabolical. The end, crazy. It was crazy. The audiobook was amazing. It's got a little plot twist at the end. It's got some Easter eggs. This is a perfect mixture between Zodiac Academy and Crescent City. So if you like either one of those, if you like one of those, this book is going to be for you. Even if you were like, I didn't like Crescent City, it was too hard to understand, pick this one up. This one's super easy to understand. It's like if Crescent City didn't have all the like big upfront world building in the beginning of it. I love Crescent City, but this one is quicker start, faster pace, gets a little bit more into it. And it is an academy setting. Our FMC is a demon hunter. Her TA is a demon. We're going to have things happen, but also the plot, the found family, and like everything going on outside the romance is top tier in this book. This is not just a romantasy. It's got really, really, really good, well-written plot and story, which is way more important to me lately. So like this one gets an extra excitement behind it. It's called Cursed City, September 29th. One of my most anticipated reads. I feel like the Dark Academia this year has not been top tier, and we haven't gotten a lot of dark academia. So what I have gotten that I've rated 5 stars, I'm gonna tell you, it needs to be at the top of your TBR. If you're a Dark Academia girly, Half City is a must read. It's amazing, and I feel like book 2 is gonna be even better. All right, so let me know if I left any out. I feel like I got the most, like, ones that are likely to be 5 stars, the ones that I feel very confident about liking. We get a lot of completed series this summer. We get a lot of brand new books by authors that we already love. There's a lot of things that are just sort of guaranteed to at least be 4 stars. I feel like there's so much promise in these book releases. I am super excited about, let me see, which one of these am I most excited about? I feel like I'm the most excited about Bedeviled and Cursed City, and then maybe the Who Hears the Waters Call, just because that sounds completely different than anything I've read recently. Oh wait, and also Sinister. Sinister, I have very high hopes for. Veronica Lancet is crazy, so I don't know if it's gonna be weird, like too weird. Like Fairytale literally sometimes bordered on being too weird, but I ended up finishing it and being like, I have to say that nothing I've ever read has been and will ever be what Fairytale was. Fairytale was absolutely wild and unhinged, and I love when a book can shock me. So I'm very excited that she is taking her writing to Dark Academia, which is literally my love language. So if I left any off, feel free to drop them in the comments. Let me know which one you're most excited about. Are there any on here that you're like, girl, I'm not excited about that at all? Hopefully our mental health gets better in the coming months. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like I'm usually the happiest in fall. I felt like maybe I thought this summer was going to be relaxing and just what I needed, and leaving my job was going to be not stressful, but now I'm in that weird transitional phase where like I have to make other things my priority, and I'm still working part-time at the job, and I'm like, was that the right decision? Should I have left altogether? I don't know. There's a lot going on in my brain, but I am here to keep giving you the book recommendations. I do feel like literally just seeing all of the books on this list has like elevated my mood. I'm so excited about these books that are coming up. I feel like every quarter we get like 10 books that are even better than we think they're gonna be. So that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen here. Make sure that you subscribe, hit like, leave a comment. I will be back with some more roundup book stacks. I am also coming back with my June reading wrap up, and June was quite a crazy month, so I can't wait to tell you about it. We read some 6-star books in June, so I have 2 6 stars to share with you. And for everybody who's been like commenting lately that I am fake about my book reviews because I've only been saying positive things lately, number one, I've been really picky with the books that I've been reading lately. I've been reading books by like authors that I already like, so you know that really ups the chances that I will like the book anyway. I've also been picking books that genuinely sound like fully my vibe. I've been like picking up less things that I'm not really sure about, but people say I should read them, so I'm reading them. I've been picking very safe reads lately, and there's been a lot of sequels. So yes, I've been liking a lot of the books that I've read this year. However, in June, I DNF'd a book and I rated a book 2 stars, and that was generous. So I am bringing the haterade back for June. Don't worry. And one of the books that I didn't like in June was one of the most anticipated books of 2026. So you better come back and watch because you're gonna know what that is. It might make you mad, but listen, I can't help it. I feel how I feel about books. I'm gonna tell you. I'll be back with the reading wrap up. I'll be back with some master lists, and I hope you're as excited about these upcoming releases as I am, because this just kind of made my mood, but I feel good. I feel good knowing that there's just like a bunch of wins coming up on my TBR, and if I hate some of these, I'm gonna be extra devastated about it, and I will come back and let you know. So let me know how your summer's going. How's your mental health? Just because it's warm outside doesn't mean we're not like cold and dry and dead on the inside. So that's how I'm feeling, but let me know what your favorite self-help thing is that like gets you out of your mental health ruts. I feel like my go-to is like rotting watching TV, but that oftentimes doesn't make me feel good. Sometimes it makes me feel worse because then I'm feeling really unproductive. And I have been playing Paralives. So if anybody grew up playing The Sims, unpopular opinion, but The Sims 4 right now has just gotten like not great. It's kind of like gone downhill. I feel like Paralives is this like new game that kind of is giving vibes of The Sims 2, but more updated. It's got better graphics, better stuff, but like the gameplay aspect is sort of giving The Sims 2, and if you haven't played it yet, it's still kind of in like the beta phase where like you can get it publicly, but it's not fully finished or like mainstream marketed or whatever yet. So you're kind of being like an early beta player, but I think anybody can play because I just was able to download it on Steam. So play Paralives. That I feel has been helping my mental health, because sometimes if you get really productive and you clean your house and you get promoted in your job and you do all of these things as your little like sim character. For some reason that makes me feel better in real life, and I'll often get off the computer and start cleaning my real house. I don't know if that translates to everyone or if you just like to rot and do the social aspects and like home wreck when you play The Sims or whatever, but I like to go crazy and be very successful and make lots of money, and then I do my social stuff. I did start dating someone else's man though in Paralives, and I'm just waiting for her to find out because she walks around. I see her all the time. I know who she is. And you know how in The Sims, like back in the day when you started dating someone who was in a relationship, they would like walk by you on the street and you'd get the minus sign and you'd know they were mad at you and you were like, yeah girl, I stole your man. I did steal somebody's man, but so far like I haven't gotten any repercussions for it, and I'm confused. I'm like, does she know? Is he keeping it on the DL? Like, what would happen if I ran into her and started talking to her? Would I get the minus signs? Anyway, that's one thing that's been helping my mental health. So if you're struggling as well, you can try playing Paralives. It's not very expensive. It's on Steam. I love it. I love to play it on the PC. And that's it. These are my most anticipated books for the remainder of summer and right up until we get to October, which is spooky season. So again, if I left anything off, let me know. I'll be back next week. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time.